Southern border now, where the health code policy heard round the world, Title 42 was set to end today. That is until the Supreme Court stepped in. Hundreds of migrants gathering at the border in Yuma, Arizona earlier today with the expectation that the policy's original expiration date would be enforced. Well, NewsNation border correspondent Allie Bradley live for us in Yuma. Allie, you spoke with some of the people who were trying to cross the border there earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Natasha. A lot of people knew that Title 42 was going to end today. Now, they didn't necessarily know exactly what Title 42 was, but they knew a policy would be ending that would allow them to walk into the U.S. You can see about 20 people here behind me waiting to be picked up and processed by Border Patrol. But let's take a look here at the video. When we first arrived here in Yuma earlier today, down here at the Cocopah Gap is where these people are crossing through. And really, the messaging that Title 42 is still in place did not get back to these people, and it really didn't matter because these people tell me they were already en route in Mexico waiting for that green light to go. And this all comes as migrant crossing numbers in Yuma have increased roughly by 1,000 week over week, and agents say this week is on pace for more of the same, possibly even more people based on what we're seeing here today. We talked with Yuma County Supervisor Jonathan Lines, who says these numbers are just not sustainable, and the federal government needs to do something to help the border communities that are being strained right now. Take a listen.
It's an open border, and Biden said that they could come. That's their understanding. And so they're taking advantage of an open border policy, right, to just come and establish themselves here in the U.S. They say that anything is better than where they've come from. I asked them if they understand that they're breaking the law, and they said it doesn't matter, that they're taking their risks for the benefit of their families.
Yeah, so I'm talking to agents right now who are telling me that the central processing facility here in Yuma is maxed out. This comes as the mayor here in Yuma is saying that Border Patrol may be forced to do street releases, just literally release people off into the streets with nowhere to go. But Jonathan Lines telling me, Natasha, that that's really dangerous here in Yuma because they don't have bus depots. They don't have an infrastructure to handle 50 plus people just being released out into the streets. So that's something we're watching for, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, the prospect of that enormously concerning. And meanwhile, Allie, do we have a sense of where these migrants are mostly from and what they're hoping for once they arrive here?
Yeah, so I've talked with several different migrants, Natasha, while being out here today. Some of them are from Georgia, some of them are from Mexico, but I did talk with two young women that are here from Cuba that talked to me a little bit more about their journey. And they're telling me that they were fleeing a dictatorship and violence in their country, and they are seeking asylum here. They're telling me that they hope to start a new life. Now, one of them is going to be with family in Houston, Texas. The other tells me she's heading to Naples, Florida, saying that they both paid a small amount of money in Mexico to get across, but otherwise it was a fairly easy trip for these two young women. Now, they are telling me, though, that they were told by their family and friends that they would be safe here and that they would be taken care of and that food and medical care would be provided for them here in the U.S. And I asked them if the policy ending had anything to do with why they crossed today, and here's what they had to say. Did it have to do with a policy to allow people into the country today?
Ah, okay, so interesting, okay.
Did it? Was that part of the reason why you came today?
Yes, of course.
Okay, because it was open today?
Yes.
Okay, so did you think the border is open right now?
Maybe that's maybe a reason.
So, yeah, when I first asked her, Natasha, why they had crossed over today, she said she really didn't want to talk about it. So she was a little bit guarded there on their journey and didn't want to be identified, saying that she could be in danger of fleeing that dictatorship in Nicaragua, or in Cuba, rather. Now, a lot of these migrants, their next steps here, they'll be processed. As you can see, these people are waiting to be picked up. They'll do initial processing here. They'll go to a processing facility, and then they will likely be released if they don't qualify for Title 42. Some of them will get reporting instructions. The others will get a notice to appear. And that court date, Natasha, can be 2 years out. I've seen some as far as 5 years, and those court dates will be in their final destinations.
5 years, hard to imagine. Allie Bradley live for us in Yuma. Certainly appreciate you breaking this down for us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.